Mayor Olivia Chow is speaking to the media as the city's executive committee are meeting today to address the budget shortfall. We're going to listen in live now.
Other items, changing the coat of arms because the utopical coat of arms because it was denigrating the Indigenous people. Having guns does not necessarily mean progress. I think there are many items. The one that I'm particularly excited about is the Scarborough-Eglinton LRT East. We are actually spending money and beginning to plan it because it's long overdue. The Scarborough residents need better public transit, and that line have been talked about for, I don't know, more than 20 years. And finally, we are going to begin the process of planning it and making it happen. So that's the one that got me very excited. But you folks have other questions, I no doubt.
Chow, if I pick up right there on the LRT, the problem with all these projects always is that the city wants to build them, but it doesn't have the funding from the province and the federal government. That is the case here. Are you confident they will come to the table and fund this project, or will it get lost in the shuffle amongst all these competing priorities?
Scarborough local residents, I am confident, will say to their elected representatives of all levels of government to say, come on, this had been promised to the Scarborough residents for 20 years. Where is it? At least the City of Toronto is willing to step up, put our money where our mouth is, and begin to make that Scarborough LRT, well, Eglinton LRT East happen. Because it's been promised in 2003, the Transit City project that former Mayor David Miller had been promising, and then there wasn't enough money, and then it became subways, and then there's a Scarborough subway, which served some people, but certainly not in the extensive LRT that it would serve with all the stops. So I'm excited about the Eglinton LRT and East, and hopefully that the city and the provincial and the federal government would align their priorities together and say to the people of Scarborough, you deserve better public transit, and we're going to do it together.
Eric, you've been accused of deliberately hiding the motion to cap ride-sharing services here in the city. Were you involved in that process, and how did you perhaps do so?
This item is in front of the courts. Of course, our legal department are very clear that I cannot comment on it. I do want to let you know that our legal department is preparing a defense. That's about all I could comment on this item.
So there's no chance that the council will revisit this separate from the court application?
Say that again?
There's no chance then that council will revisit this vote separate from the court application?
I can't tell what councillors are going to do because different councillors will do different things. But again, I really can't comment on the items. But other than the fact is this, congestion, especially in downtown Toronto, cost the cities and all the companies billions of dollars on lost productivity. And the greenhouse gas emission because of transportation of cars is substantial. And that was the reason why the City of Toronto took the action. But the rest, I will leave the court speak for itself.
Next question.
Would you support the idea if it was brought forward to the next council meeting to perhaps put a pause on this while it's still being considered?
I am not going to comment on or speculate what councillors may or may not do.
He's saying you can't speak on this issue because of advice.
There's a court.
But is legal advice something the city should have gotten before doing this?
I really cannot comment on a case that is in front of the court.
Mayor Chow, you mentioned
And I will mention that 5 more times if you ask me 5 more times, and I will say exactly that
Mayor Chow,
again.
You mentioned Cafe TO. What should Torontonians expect next summer from a program that a lot of people thought was a dime on the vine?
They will expect that the many restaurants that are that have been operating will continue to operate, and they already got their approval, so they don't even have to wait. They could tell the people that are going to come to their cafes that they're going to be opening the minute it gets warm. They're going to set up. So right off top, majority of them will be opening, and with no hassle, no reapplication. They've reapplied and they've been told yes. The second one is that by January, all the applications will come in. It's going to be a fast, smooth process. And on top of it, it will be one-stop shop rather than they have to deal with all these different folks. They're going to have one place, the transportation department, that would make all the decisions. So faster, cleaner, much better process. And remember, $203 million of economic benefits, not to mention the joy and the fun that people have enjoying their meals on the outside once it becomes warmer next year.
Mayor, on the issue of encampments, as you know, there have been calls from some groups for a moratorium on evictions. Is that something you would support?
Say that again?
There have been calls from some groups for
Eviction.
a moratorium on evictions from encampments.
Eviction encampments. I cannot predict what the staff may or may not do. What let me put it the other way. The city staff have been bringing people in a voluntary way to come indoor because it's getting much colder. And occasionally, if there are propane tanks, etc., inside the tent with fire, it can become dangerous. So no one has been forced to be moved to date under my watch. They have been through the Street to Homes staff, they've been voluntary moving indoor. What's exciting is because we now have a housing benefit program, hundreds and hundreds of people are finding a home, a permanent home, not even a shelter. They are moving from shelter into homes. That's what's really exciting, that people are finding homes. By the end, soon, there will be over 2,000 people moving from shelters to a room or to apartments. That's worthy of celebration. On top of that, because they have moved to a home, the shelter will then be open, meaning people that are camping can now move from camps into shelters. The problem is this: our entire system of facing huge challenges, even when the city is investing as much as we possibly can afford, is because of the huge number of refugees that are coming to the city. Every 50%. So 1 out of 2 people that are coming to our shelters right now are refugees. And that's one of the reasons why our shelters are full. So what do? I think what we need to focus on is to squarely with the federal government to say, please, join us, step up, help us deal with the refugees that are now on the street.
So, Mayor Chow, in practical terms, do we actually have space in our shelters to accommodate people who are living in encampments right now if they're offered a space?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It depends whether we're able to move some of the people through the housing benefits into rooms, right? There are some supportive housing that are opening up because we're building them and they're opening up. So again, there might be some vacancy, so we're moving people through and finding a home for them. But at any one night, places are still really jammed up. So are we forcing people out of tents into places they don't want to go? No, because they're going to leave and then come back out anyway. It's counterproductive. It's wasting time. And it just, so that hasn't happened. I don't think that would happen. However, in cases where there might be a danger, then perhaps the negotiation might be more intense.
Mayor Chow, there's an item about...
And we've been listening live there to Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow speaking to the media as the city's executive committee meets today to address the budget shortfall. And we heard the mayor once again answering a number of different questions, but also calling on the provincial and federal government to help Toronto address its housing and shelter crisis.